Howdy.
Hello.
Ooh, I'm trying to share it out here.
Looks like we're connected to Get Haunted Facebook. That's the first time in a while it's actually went through right. Cool.
All right.
How's it going, everyone? Welcome. This is Haunted Casket, everyone's fourth favorite podcast.
Wow, we made it up before.
Fuck yeah, dude! I checked the stats on Only Haunts or whatever. You know, So yeah, we're on a tier that don't exist. So
Number one.
How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to Haunted Casket number 14. You're not wrong. I actually counted bills. So we're on 14. I'm back on track until I'm not on track. This is the one with the one or the two and the only Ernie the stud and Denise back.
Thank God he's the only.
This is the episode to where we may or may not be counting how many times Denise interrupts Ernie.
Yeah, well, it's gonna happen a lot.
Trevor.
There's one.
Hello, everyone. We have
I should put like a counter on the screen.
Yeah, we really should.
If I add a counter for every banner, I'm gonna be just the producer at this point, and I wouldn't talk. So anyway, Icy Spirits, how's it going, my friend? How's it going? Hey, Loves and Trevor. Who's Kaylee again?
Yeah, she loves us and Bill and
yeah.
And then
Trevor.
Kaylee loves everyone.
I think
And then
Kaylee.
there's Trevor.
I think I saw Kaylee at the bar. I think I met her.
You saw Kaylee.
Yep.
How's it going? What's up, Sarah? How's it going? The
Awesome.
pack.
Boss lady.
Boss lady, how's it going? How's it going?
The
Yeah.
Todd.
The Todd. A little side story about not Todd himself, but like his nickname, how I thought it came about. Because I asked you guys about it, and anyone that's talked to me for more than a minute will know. With my speech impediment, I can only say like vowels right or quickly. So in front of all the words that I have trouble actually speaking, I put the YouTube and the paranormal and stuff. So I guess one time I said the Todd, and I thought that's where it came from, but apparently it wasn't. No.
He has been the Todd for years.
Yeah.
Years.
Yeah. And
It's a long story behind that.
That's a story for another time, unless you want to talk about it here. It's all good.
That's a story for tell.
Okay. The aristocrat, how's it going? That's Chris, right?
Yeah, it's Chris.
Okay, how's it going, Chris? How's it going, man?
originally Trevor, was it really aristocrat? And then Trevor said it and it became the aristocrat.
Hey,
if we're gonna spend the next hour picking on Trevor, this is gonna be the best episode
Yeah.
yet.
if you guys spend the next hour picking on me, this will be the highest viewed episode we have.
Yeah.
Trevor.
And I'm willing to take shots for the views. I refuse to clickbait for views, so I guess we'll just have to bully someone.
That's right.
And who better than Trevor?
Yeah, I was 20 years strong, baby. Whisper. Okay, I'm new to this channel or this stream.
That's Damien.
That's Damien.
Oh, that's Damien.
Yeah, come on,
okay,
dude. It's Damien,
I mean, dope ass name.
right?
Wait, is that your team name now? That's the,
Trevor, do you need us to take over the show? You seem to be a little confused.
I just didn't know this was Damien. Damn, dude, you're
Damien's
hot now. I like the name, dude. Holy shit.
It's cool, isn't it?
Hell yeah.
it is.
Whispers of the Ouija.
I'm telling you, I'm just gonna bring Damien over to the U.S. and just keep him as an exhibit in my museum.
Hey, you were wanting some human skin for a Ouija board.
It's true. Yeah. Actually, Damien and I have talked about that. If I still have the museum going when he dies, I get his arms.
Awesome. That'd be cool. That'd be cool.
Yeah. All right.
Let's ask questions. I mean,
Oh yeah, Damien, ask as many Bigfoot ghost questions or just like life questions too. Ask him life stuff.
And if you want to ask why I'm planning what I'm doing with your deceased body when you're still alive, maybe don't ask that one.
Bill,
yeah.
Ask Ernie what my children. He has been given strict instructions not to let my children have my body. My oldest daughter wants to stuff me and set me by the front window.
She
That's all right.
wants to what you by the front window?
She wants to stuff me like
Stuff me.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
Taxidermy.
and put me by the front window.
I already have an agreement with my fiance that she becomes one of my Halloween decorations, with the exception of her skull, which her kids have claimed.
Well, my
That's
other
pretty
daughters
cool.
are all
I like
for the whole taxidermy thing. So I told him, I said, my children are not to get my body when I die, ever.
Fair enough.
I'm just here.
We have Eric Stevens, Denise and Ernie.
We love our Eric. He's always there.
We love our Eric. Oh,
thank you, Damien.
Bill could have my body for a museum. Hell yeah. As long as you don't, a little piece of heaven it, then we're good.
That's for only haunts, not
okay.
Not
Denise.
No.
Denise, do you know what a little piece of heaven is?
No, Trevor, I wouldn't know that. I have a big piece of heaven.
I'm confused.
We need to talk about my shoe size or anything. Hi, Patrick. Let's get back to the.
Okay.
So,
I'm so good.
Just move on.
Okay.
Save yourself and move on.
I want to look at Kate Wilson now. Look at these off.
Just shut the show down and
it
leave
was down
Trevor
for a minute.
speechless.
Yeah, it was down.
That I can't remember the last time Trevor's been speechless.
See, I wanted to ask what's your definition of a little piece of heaven, but if we were both right, that's a whole other topic that we can get into later. That could be for some after show shit.
Todd wants to know who called Ernie a stud.
I will give the small history of that as well. Good morning from. Oh yeah, that's. I think this will be in the episode. Yeah. Hey, Kaylee, I will pay me $5, and you can come on here and talk shit live.
Don't worry, Kaylee. I'm ready.
We have Sandra. How's it going? How's it going, sister? We have Patrick Doyle. Met him at Rock Island. Great man. Great man. And Todd Eskew. Me. He's my celebrity crush.
I'm afraid.
I think you should be.
He's labeled a bed muffin in my phone.
I mean, I don't really think there was a reason why. I just. Oh no, this was. I forget the context. Me and like all the podcast people in the program were in a chat a while back. Then Rob and Ernie were making jokes in the chat about something about being cute or sexy, and I'm like, "Hey, he's a stud," and I just kind of went with it. I think.
Well, it's appropriate.
Yeah. But anyway, so
we're gonna have a show.
Hey, this is the show. You guys are the show. So let's start off the most basic of questions, because who knows what it'll turn into.
All right.
What is the 1841 real ditto house? How does it work? How do you guys present it as far as like telling it the stories like in your own way? And Fort Duffield, Fort Duffield, just start talking about it, and then when Denise interrupts you, then we'll go do our own thing.
How's that?
Well, the house was built in 1841, obviously, functioned as a private residence. Then it became a Civil War hospital during the Civil War. We were not the main hospital. The main hospital was 2 doors down. It's a great big huge. It's called the Ditto. It's been the Ditto Pruitt.
Lansdale.
It's been the Ditto Pruitt house. Then it became the Ditto Lansdale house. But that family also owned this home. That's why it's the Ditto House Inn. They own both. That one is just as haunted as this one, if not more so. So when you look up Kentucky's Most Haunted House, it depends on which website you look at as to whether it's going to be our house that pops up or the other one. The other house got the majority of the more ill people. We didn't really have
wounded people.
Wounded. We didn't really have, we had skirmishes here, but we didn't really have battle here. So most of what that house got came down the river on boats and so forth. What we mainly got was like the illnesses from the guys at the fort, because the fort never saw a battle. It saw a lot of illnesses and so forth and a few accidents. That's not to say we might have not had any of those more mortally wounded folks over here when that one got, full.
Because we did serve as an overflow for them.
But we don't have the stories of the limbs being thrown out the windows or anything like that. We do know we've had 28 confirmed deaths in this house. It's been a brothel. It's been a restaurant. It's been an inn. It's been a railroad ticket office. What am I missing? There's been a lot of things over the years.
Golly, it served as post office. You said that.
We are on the
they sold fish out of here at one point.
We're on the Lewis and Clark Trail. Lewis and Clark, actually, John Shields, the blacksmith for Lewis and Clark, his cabin sat in the front right corner of our house. The foundation is still underneath the house. And this was the first stop that Lewis and Clark stopped in the backyard to pick him up and like 7 other people when they started their expedition.
Wow.
We got General Sherman's desk downstairs. Sherman's headquarters were 4 doors down. During the 1937 flood, we've had like 3 or 4. Well, I guess there's been several floods, but only 2 that really got in the house good. And the 1937 flood got up to the 2nd floor landing. So the floors downstairs were redone at that time. Upstairs are still original floors. But Sherman's desk floated out of the headquarters down there, ended up in the front yard here. It's just kind of old, beat up, nothing fancy to it. They didn't want to haul it back down there, so they brought it in and kept it here. So we've got General Sherman's desk downstairs. And
which is pretty cool.
It's got the markings on top of it, like the inkwell and everything, where probably he planned out the burning of Atlanta. Because this is one of the last places he was before he headed
Before he went crazy.
So
He got sent to Jefferson Barracks over in St. Louis. They said he was insane, and then Lincoln
got him out and brought him back.
Get him out so they could win the war.
Speaking of going from St. Louis and Atlanta and moving, Whispers of the Damien. I got to get used to your 2 names now. Damien asked, is it possible you brought entities from a previous house you lived in, or they followed you here?
We're full of antiques, so not all the antiques came from this house. So we've
not only we've both been involved in the paranormal for many years, and so we have spirits that follow us.
Our spirit of 502, she stays with us. She's here. That's from 502 at Waverly Hill Sanatorium. She's with us all the time. We've got a organ downstairs from 1800s funeral home. I've got an old doctor's table downstairs. We've got
a lot of antiques that probably have spirit attachments along with them. Plus, just everything, to do with us that, like I say, I mean, we've both been involved in the paranormal for a long time.
And because we can communicate, this whole town is haunted. So anything or anybody
in town
that's looking for someone they can talk to, they might pop in here and say hi.
Yeah.
Bill, you look kerfuffled. What was that face for?
No, it's just this sounds absolutely amazing. I've
Oh,
not
it
been
is?
down there before, and I think I need to make my way down there at some point.
I think you should on the date for this. Let me share it. Speaking of trifecta, I got to go to the page to scroll. Give me 1 second.
31st.
There, May the 31st. Thank you, Ernie. From 7 p.m. to 2 a.m. Trifecta 2.0. Ghost cryptids and UFOs at Fort Duffield and at the real 1841 Ditto House. Why do I never stutter when I'm promoting anything? I do not know, but I'm going to take it. Step into the heart of the unexplained. The Trifecta 2.0, one of a kind event bringing together some of the most experienced and Ernie. I'm kidding. Most experienced names in the paranormal world, including Ernie. I'm kidding. On these topics, hosted at the historic Fort Duffield in West Point, Kentucky. I can read all that, but that you guys can visit yourselves and read the site yourself, and even buy a ticket.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and unfortunately, the Grand Slams are gone. There were
Yeah,
only
they've
6
already
of
sold
them.
out
They sold out within a week.
The VIP or the Grand Slam thing.
I think it's just called the Grand Slam. I don't remember what he called it.
Which
So-
is just a fancy name for the VIP level.
Yeah.
It's the highest ticket tier on there. It's sold out, but you can get all of those. Everything that we're doing that weekend is also sold individually, with the exception of the night at the house.
Right. But
So
you can come to the house. If you get the picnic on Sunday, you'll be at the house. You can walk around
get
the
a
house.
tour,
You get a tour or whatever.
We'll treat you nice, probably. I will, not so much.
Questionable.
Yeah, depends on how she feels that day.
And who? Sorry. Let me go back.
Yeah, I'm hoping to get down there for that. It's still a little up in the air at the moment, but
So, who is the guy in the center of the graphic to the right of you, Ernie and Greg?
Christopher Lee Jansen.
He is one of the best psychic mediums that we have ever met. Great guy.
Was he at ISS Con?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I recognize the face. I just forgot his name.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. One doing readings there in the governor's house,
Yeah. Okay.
right behind Get Haunted booth.
Because with my photographic head, it's like that guy's face is in my head for some reason. I just don't know why, but that makes sense. Okay, cool.
yeah, Trevor stalked him for a little bit. Didn't know his name. Just like, I like that guy. I'm gonna follow him.
I was at ISS Con, just like, hey,
When
you.
The reading, he looks like through you, like he is reading your soul. Like it's amazing.
Yeah.
Is he from the area or the Kentucky area?
He lives in Ohio.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not too bad.
He travels all around this area.
We should.
The first ones to come to the fort.
Yeah, they did a private investigation. Black Cat Paranormal, he's part of that. And they were the first to book the fort. And they had Bigfoot activity. They had spirit activity and had a blast. And several members of that team have been back several times. And they booked a night here at the house.
Yeah, they've been to the house.
She didn't mention we do have some openings still, some Friday night private overnights here at the house that are $500 for up to 10 people or 8. The private overnights.
Private overnights. I think we said 8, but we would negotiate.
Yeah, we could probably accommodate up to 10, but those are like from 7 p.m. till 11 a.m. the next day, and you get dinner that night. Something simple like a cookout, and then.
No,
Overnight investigation.
We're not.
Oh, that's right. We're not doing that.
We cut the dinner part out because we were letting people come at 5, and it was too much to get them in at 5 and cook dinner. So now it's just
7 p.m. to 11 a.m. And
we do provide snacks and drinks and that kind of stuff, but we're not cooking.
Right.
Gotcha.
But we'll cook breakfast the next morning.
Yes. Ernie will cook breakfast the next morning.
You will cook breakfast the next morning. Yes. Somebody's schmoozing while you're in there cussing the stove.
Oh shit. I know this is random, but going back to forgive me, what the medium's name again?
Christopher Lee Jansen.
Christopher. Okay. Christopher. Okay, cool. I gotta say it a lot. Since he's in Ohio, are you two by any chance coming to that investigation at that the funeral home in Ohio in Felicity?
We told Rob we'd think about it, but we're not committing to anything. We're trying to cut back. Rob, there's Rob, speak of the devil.
Gosh.
We're trying to cut back because our schedule last year was almost impossible. And we said we were cutting back, and we're already looking at our calendar up to November.
Yeah.
I the last 2 years I did the same thing. I got to start cutting back and doing way too much. And next thing I know, I'm doing more than the year before.
Right.
Yeah, that's how that year was for us.
Bill always says that, and it sounds bad. He's doing more productivity-wise, but he's spending less. Because spending less on like the cons and the events itself, right? Because you've been spending a little bit on a lot. Now you're spending a little average on.
I'm spending a lot on a lot.
Okay, no, I guess
this year I'm trying to do less small events, more bigger events. Yeah. So if I'm going to do something, it's going to be bigger versus doing a whole bunch of little things.
Right.
Rob says we're banned from Felicity.
Yeah, so we won't be there. Sorry, because Rob just banned us.
Oh, they're banned. Oh shit.
We're bad people.
Just talk to Sarah. She'll
yeah. Nice. If you talk to Sarah, I think Sarah will fire Rob, and then you're unbanned.
Rob Rob has seen me get angry. He knows not to make me get out of the truck.
There you go, Rob. Hey, I was following the boss's orders.
We don't need the elite package, Damien. We don't need that little.
I already got one of them.
We don't need the little package.
I am clipping that. I am clipping that. Oh, Jesus. If he would have just said it, it would have been funny. But the fact I got elite package. Like this motherfucker had to lean back and show the shit.
Yeah.
So if you want some more of Ernie Pack, go to onlyhaunts.com.
Danger made a little ad for me that said Ernie fans.
Ernie fans.
Oh shit.
Oh gosh.
Now I know why you bring all the views. You get that big package. Oh, okay.
So, we didn't talk about Fort Duffield yet.
Try to get back on track. He didn't want to talk about his package.
This is how I try to do on our shows all the time. And you're like further down the rabbit hole, into the gutter.
Ernie, you need one of these?
She wouldn't listen. She'd be like,
well, Trevor doesn't listen either.
Yeah. True.
Hey, last episode, you had to.
I'm not.
The last episode we had to buzzer you.
The last episode I was sick and sleep deprived.
The last episode he wasn't really getting like ranting about random stuff. I asked him some really short to the point question that was off topic, and it was just simple, blah blah blah, and that was it, right? His brain was just not computing, and he was like, I think I. And after about 30 seconds of that, he just paused and went.
Yeah, I had a Trevor moment.
Trevor. Maybe he caught it from you. I don't know.
He caught something from me.
Oh, Jesus.
I gotta go get tested. Anyway, Fort
Duffield, yes.
Preserved earthen Civil War fort. Trevor, you've been there. It is an earthen fort. It's a large piece of property on top of the hill, right across the highway from us here. It was constructed in the fall and winter of 1861, right after the war broke out. General Sherman decided that he needed something there to protect the supply points, which West Point was a major supply hub for the Union Army back then. And it's not funny. I'm talking about Civil War, people. And so anyway, they built this fort. It was manned mostly by local guard units, which were, Yeah, I mean, oftentimes teenagers. I mean, as young as 13.
12.
The youngest one was 12 that was here for a while. But they were Union troops in a Southern sympathizing town at war for the first time, and they're kids, okay? And so they were scared to death. Every time they'd hear a noise in the woods, it could be a deer walking by or anything. Native American. The entire, or a Sasquatch. The entire fort would erupt in gunfire.
Ernie, did you serve there? He's old enough.
Rob, remember the comment you made right before that one where it said, I'm shutting up? Anyway, the conditions were really bad. The winter of 1861 around here was one of the worst on record. And there was a lot of illness.
Their latrine was up here. Their drinking stream was down here.
Yeah, they got water out of a spring, which was right down the hill from the latrine. So if you, so sickness.
That was like a shitty time.
Exactly.
Yeah, sickness ran rampant at the fort. A lot of guys got sick. There were deaths from flu, from diphtheria, lots of different things. There were accidents. There's only one known case of a guy dying from gunshot, and that was a guy that was walking down the hill. His friend was
buddy,
comrade, I guess, was walking down the hill in front of him, slipped in the snow and ice, fell, his rifle discharged and hit him in the chin, blew the top of his head off. And ironically, right where that happened, a couple of people now have caught a very good full-bodied apparition of a Union soldier walking down the hill right there.
Rob was one of them.
Yeah, Rob caught one of those. But the site itself, prior to it being a Civil War fort,
sounds like an elite unit.
Hey, Ernie, Rob wants your elite unit.
I'm the one speaking, Rob. So yes, you're right on it. The fort itself, the site it's at, is the highest peak around the area. That hill sits at the convergence of the Salt River and the Ohio River. You got two rivers that come together right there on that corner, actually right here in our backyard. And so it was a settlement. That area was a settlement for Native peoples. And so the history of the area has a lot of Indian massacres, Indian skirmishes, not squirmishes, but skirmishes. And oh gosh, I mean, there were massacres down here in town. Like I say, you got the two rivers that come together. You've got a cave system under that hill. You've got limestone
quarry over there.
You've got two railroad tracks that converge right here in the center of town. There's a big X where they cross. All those things, that constant conductor of the railroad track, people say that contributes to paranormal activity. All of the elements of a haunting that Brandon Alvis and Mustafa Gadalari talk about in their book, Elements of a Haunting, they're all right here in town.
Right here, the whole town. We are, and our house is on Elm Street of all streets, and that's the 38th parallel. There's actually a sign out there that labels it the 38th parallel.
So you guys really are like the prime location.
Yeah, it's the perfect storm. We've got the trifecta at the fort. I mean, many groups that up there for private investigations have had Bigfoot activity. Keith Paranormal had the trifecta themselves. They had the entire group watched a Sasquatch walk all the way across the fort grounds down into the woods.
He was there with them that night.
We saw a light anomaly in the sky do things that military aircraft don't do. I mean, we've got Fort Knox military
there's
base.
Chad popping in right there. That he's from Keith Paranormal.
Chad Cummings was there that night. Got all three. I mean, But you know how this is. I can't tell you if you guys come out here, we're going to have a Bigfoot come walking through. We're going to see a UFO. We're going to have ghosts. We might just sit there in the woods all night and not have anything but, crickets. It could.
Right.
But I'm telling you what. Yeah, go ahead.
The last 2 events, but we try to do about 3 or 4 a year of spirits, Sasquatch, and I can't ever say it right. Go ahead. Say it.
Spirits, squatches, and stories around the campfire. Go ahead.
We do that about 3 or 4 times a year. And the last 2 that we had last year, we had about 19 to 25 people all witness Bigfoot together.
Yeah. Trevor was there one night.
Rob was there. Yeah, Rob was there when Trevor was there.
Yeah. And good transition. If you guys want to witness that exact same thing, we can't promise a campfire, but we can promise ghosts.
You know what? There'll be a campfire, Trevor.
Oh, there will be? Oh, shit. I didn't read that part.
The only thing you can't promise is ghosts and Sasquatch.
Yeah.
But we'll
or
try.
Cryptids or UFOs. But yeah, so yeah, come on out to the Trifecta 2.0 at Fort Duffield, Real 1841 Ditto House. Remember, we cannot promise you a paranormal experience, but we can promise you an experience in the paranormal.
Right. Well, I mean, you look on that flyer there. You've got Sarah. Scroll down. You've got Sarah. You've got
You're pointing.
Squatch Man.
Can see you pointing.
I'm pointing so I can think. Sarah, Squatch Man, Christopher, me, Denise, Leanne, Todd Eskew of the Black Wolf Paranormal. Lots of great people.
And then there's Rob.
Like
he said he skipped me.
I was waiting for someone to say it. I was waiting for someone to say it.
Completely unintentional.
So I have not been down to your area to be at either one of these locations, but I was at the Trifecta last year, and it was the most amazing night in the paranormal I've ever had in my life.
I wasn't at that event, but I heard from Rob and people who were there that it was incredible. And
it completely changed my views on a lot of things.
We are firm believers because when we started hanging out with Squatch Man after we had our first Bigfoot experience, and then he educated us on his ways, we are firm believers now that if you have the right mindset and you understand a little bit more of what you're looking for, instead of just thinking you're going out to find a big flesh and blood ape, you will have amazing experiences.
And that's exactly what I once thought. No, granted, I wasn't like trying to preach or share my experiences or my thoughts, because at Indiana State, at the investigation that we had, I never hunted it at all. If someone asked me, it's like, yeah, I guess Bigfoot's just a hairy guy, but I have no idea. I only ever talked about him just like in passing, or it in passing. And then at ISS at the end, whenever we were doing that small little investigation out in the woods, all of you and Rob and Sarah were already like over there, and me and Danny were lagging behind, coming out of a building, and we got down there. We asked you, so what's happening? And they go, and everyone in synchronicity goes, shh, look. And I go, oh fuck, what did we? Then I whispered to Danny, it's like, what did we get into? She goes, ow, no. So we all get like, me and Danny get shoulder to shoulder, just kind of staring into the abyss. Ernie, you do a Sasquatch call. You moan loudly, I guess. And
grunt is what I did.
Grunt. Yeah, sorry.
He is an elite unit. What do you expect?
Yes, exactly.
And then you do your sound. You do your thing, and then me and Danny were just like, holy shit. I love watching Bill's face when Trevor talks. Oh, well, I can make him do a lot of faces whenever we're off stream.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, usually it's a face palm.
But yeah, that night whenever I saw the eyes, Denise, you came and talked to me like at the very end, and we're like, so what did you think? And I go,
It's a lot to take in.
and I go and I'm like, all I know is I don't think he's a hairy guy anymore.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, he shaved.
Yeah. So
All right. So
like ever since then, it's just been that.
So I have a question for you. Speaking of Bigfoot, prior to last year's trifecta, I was always a flesh and blood Bigfoot guy. I did not believe any of the paranormal side of it. Since then, I'm far more open to that, but I'm still not fully convinced yet.
Right.
And one of the explanations that I've heard that kind of resonated with me was that if you look at all Bigfoot phenomenon and just list out what it is, things being thrown, something being seen and then suddenly not there, you take all that, you just take it out of the woods and put it into a house, and you're describing a haunted house. So
Right.
so what are your thoughts on the more paranormal aspect of Bigfoot? Maybe not isn't Bigfoot, maybe Bigfoot is flesh and blood, but what you're experiencing is a ghost of Bigfoot.
He can be flesh and blood, but he can cloak. Squatch Man refers to him as the spirits of the forest. They're the forest people. And we have seen them going from flesh and blood to cloaking. We've seen it with our own eyes, just like that.
We've seen both versions at one, in one
transition.
In one sequence.
Yeah. And it's I tell the story all the time how we were not Bigfoot people until one found us when we were on a ghost hunt. And at that time I was scared that there was something there that was going to rip us to shreds, And
he's a weenie.
An elite weenie.
Elite. Exactly.
All right, now we're on now we're on some SpongeBob quotes right now.
But what I always go back to, and what I've said at presentations I've given since we've become Bigfoot people that are asked to speak at conventions and stuff now, which blows me away. You think about Bigfoot and Bigfoot hunters that are thinking that this is the unknown North American primate, undiscovered North American primate out there that's just very elusive. Okay. You have government grant money being sent to places like the University of Idaho or Idaho State University, wherever Meldrum works, millions and millions of dollars, drones, FLIR cameras, IR cameras, trail cams everywhere. Some of the best trackers in the business, bloodhounds, you name it, out there in the woods.
I just sent you a picture. I'm interrupting you because I was going to explain to him what that is. They can follow you home. That's our dining room.
Yeah.
What the?
Yeah.
You saw that, didn't you, Trevor? I'll send it to you too.
You showed me a lot of stuff whenever I was at the house, so I'll be honest, I don't remember one specific.
I'll send it to you.
Okay.
None of them ever get shit. None of those researchers.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Because they are looking for something that doesn't exist. The flesh and blood North American primate that is elusive is not there. But the spirit of the forest. And
I'm going to have to respectfully disagree with you a little bit.
Okay, go ahead.
Right. So I've talked to a lot of Bigfoot people and anti-Bigfoot people, and that very thing is something that they bring up a lot, where, well, we don't find tracks, we don't find bodies, we don't find hair, we have tons of cameras out there and we're not seeing them. I live in and hunt in an area that has a lot of bear. We have a lot of bear here. We the property that I used to lease out for hunting, we knew that there was at least 10 bear living on that 2-acre property.
Mm-hmm.
We had 2 pictures of bear. We had 20 cameras out there. We had 2 pictures over course of like 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
So these animals, when they don't want to be seen, they're not seen.
Right.
If when one of these animals die in the woods,
bears.
There's enough things out there to get rid of that body in a matter of hours. So you're not going to find dead bodies unless you stumble upon a fresh kill.
Right.
And then, you know, in terms of having the drones, the FLIRs, the cameras. In fact, I just talked to somebody just last week where they said this exact thing where, you know, there's thousands of trail cameras out there. How come we're not finding pictures of Bigfoot? Well, 99% of those trail cameras are within a couple miles of a populated area. And there's so much woods where there's no cameras, there's no drones, there's none of that. You know, and that's most of the forest out there. Of course, we're not going to find anything.
Well,
So I'm not saying that it can't, like, what you're saying is wrong. I'm not fully convinced it yet. I'm not fully there yet.
we have discovered.
I wasn't either until I saw it.
Until we have experienced so much stuff that it's ridiculous how much stuff we've experienced since we started looking at it through Squatchman's eyes, basically. And Squatchman is a very firm believer of no cameras or anything. It's more of a not looking for evidence, but looking for the experience. And those last two events that we've had, where we've had like 19 to 25 people that have witnessed this, no cell phones or cameras were out. It was all visual.
No flashlights, no nothing.
I will tell you, I'm going to send you a couple more photos. I'm going to send the original, and then I'm going to send the one where I kind of blew it up and lightened. One of the other phenomena that we have whenever we see Bigfoot.
Let me start this. Do you hear people talking about seeing orbs around Bigfoot sightings? Have you heard of those things?
Yep.
Okay. What if those orbs are fairies? That sounds crazy, right?
No, not at all. Especially not down in your neck of the woods. I mean, you have the Hopkinsville goblins. There are cases all over Kentucky with the cave systems of Tommy knockers and the hobgoblins, red caps, all those different types of fae.
Pause real quick. You say Hopskin or Hopkin?
Hopkins. That's
Hopkinsville.
Yeah.
Okay. I think you said Hopskins. I'm like, you just butchered that so hard. Sorry. Anyway. All right. The Hopkinsville Goblin hit the history. That's really cool because back on We the Haunted, like before Get Haunted even happened, or I joined years ago. Me and my co-host, we did a episode on that because it's 30 minutes away from us, and it's really the story behind how it became knowledgeable to the whole town is really cool. But that's a whole other topic for itself.
I just did eye shine too. That we've got.
Yeah. Holy shit. That looks like fucking
fairy.
Well, what's the girl off of Peter Pan?
Tinkerbell.
It looks like fucking Tinkerbell. What the fuck?
That was at our last public event
at the fort.
Wait,
this fall.
Give me a second. I am airdropping these to my computer, and I am showing these.
Show the original, and then you can show the.
Now that one is where I blew it up and lightened it up.
I gotta do some tech stuff, so you guys have fun.
Okay, all right.
I'm honestly at a loss with that picture.
Yeah.
So for everybody watching, the picture will come up in a second, but as soon as Trevor gets it going, but I can't say that picture has anything to do with Bigfoot, but that is definitely a really cool picture.
We had a guest take it with his cell phone, and Ernie was standing beside him when it was captured because he captured it and said, "Look at this." So we know it wasn't
doctored or anything.
Yeah, I'm definitely very much into the fae and the fae lore, especially here in the U.S. We have quite a bit of it around where I live.
Yeah. Well, what she was going to say and what Haunted Discoveries actually captured, possibly, you might see something that documents this.
They filmed
phenomenon
here and at the fort, and it's supposed to come
air in the next couple of months.
Yeah.
But there's documentation on some very, very scientific equipment that kind of backs this up. But people talk about, like I was saying, in different sighting cases, people talk about seeing orbs before they saw the Sasquatch or whatever.
Mhm.
All right, so before we hop into, I'm sorry for interrupting,
That's okay.
but God damn it! All right, so this is it, not zoomed out, just so everyone can see the quick raw image for just a second. That's the raw image. I'm sure you guys all see it.
Doctrine, really.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And this is without it. God, I hate these notifications. Okay, present, share screen, and
There you go.
yep.
Now this is a bit of a blur because it was moving. Okay. So picture, if you would, the classic ferry that's zipping through the woods and it's caught on in a picture. There you go.
Hey, Damien, what are your thoughts?
I sent that to Damien, actually.
I can't wait to hear what Damien has to say on that one.
That looked at my first thought. It's Tinkerbell, except the hat with like the bulbs on the side it almost like has like a jester look.
Mm-hmm.
Damien's asking if it's two, and I've had somebody else tell me it looks like one on like riding on the back of another, and I didn't know if that
Like
might,
one, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know if that might be a flower or something she was saying.
Do you think the two bulbs on its head are eyes, and there's just stems that
Or
connect
just
to their
like
eye?
lights coming off?
Yeah.
Little glowy thing. I don't know. I mean,
We've tried to look at it and think, could that be a bug? But that just doesn't
it
look
was
like
not a bug.
any bug.
We were seeing eye shine out in the forest. Okay. And then we start seeing this little light like just zipping through the weeds and around the trees and out there in front of us. And he took like 3 pictures and finally he's like, "Oh, I got it." And he blows it up and I'm like, "What the hell?" And
I just realized this. I mean, granted, it's gonna just get more blurry the more I zoom in. It looks like there's fingers, like he's almost like dancing.
Yeah.
Or I say he. I don't fucking know. It's dancing.
Well,
Fae are known to dance.
Yeah.
I'd be really interested if when that photo was taken, if you immediately went down there, if you would have found a fairy circle.
Well, we zoom out and look on the ground around it. Look at the original zoomed out.
The original. Okay, just give me 1 second.
Yeah.
We actually had a fairy or two show up here at the house. Greg Bakken was here visiting, and a fairy came down right in front of him when he was
in our living room
downstairs in our living room.
He thought it was a bug and he was
went to
gonna swat it, and he stopped, and we all looked and was like, "Whoa!" There's like little legs and a little body,
and she had on green too.
Yeah, she had on green like that too, and it was like,
look over
to the right of the. Back in there, see that illuminated area. There's no reason for that to be lit up because that's back in the woods at night.
It almost looked like a little village, or something.
Fairy village or something. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the whole thing.
Do you
is
remember
wild.
when? Do you remember when this was taken?
It was like
October.
It was in October. It was in October.
How close to Halloween?
It was not. We were in.
It was early October.
It was early October because we were at the soiree. It was actually. It might have been
at the soiree. The soiree was 4 days before Halloween.
Yeah,
right. That's what I'm saying. We were at the soiree, so it wasn't then. It was like a month.
Oh,
okay. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure it was sometime in October, but it would have been like within the first couple of weeks of October. I can look at the calendar and find out. You know what? Reach down in that drawer down there. Give me that.
So the reason I ask that is Halloween or Samhain is often considered in Celtic lore the day that the Fae would go from their summer homes to their winter homes, and you're actually supposed to leave out alcohol and a sweet treat so that they don't bother you on that day. But I'm wondering, considering that's Celtic lore, that's Irish, Scottish. And, the migration patterns of animals changes depending on where you are in the world, depending if you're further north, south. I wonder if they were migrating then just at a different time from what the lore normally says.
It was October 19th.
So Yeah. I mean, it's
crazy.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
And, you know, I say this all the time too. You know, 5 years ago, if you would have told me that, you know, Bigfoot has self-illuminating eyes and
it'll follow you home.
It'll follow you home and all this, I would have said, what are you smoking? If you would have said there are fairies out there, they're real, they really do exist, I would have said, okay, yeah, right. But we have just had so many new experiences that people with us have had, you know, without us in, you know, planting it in their head, just saying, tell me what you see. And they tell us what they see and they're seeing what we're seeing. It's like, okay, well, I would believe in anything anymore. You know, I mean,
I don't discount anything.
I'm
the Ford of the soldier.
I'm mirror dropping that to my computer right now.
Yeah, Sean, you say it looks like a jellyfish UAP. You're not wrong. It does kind of look like that. One of the really interesting things is the traditional lore of the Fae lines up really, really heavily with alien abduction lore. And there's definitely, I think, some correlation between alien abductions and Fae, whether aliens are Fae or Fae are aliens, or, you know,
it is
one and the same.
Sasquatch goes in with the aliens and the fairies too. So,
yeah.
So
the reason why Lucas had a Bigfoot driving the Millennium Falcon.
So Tanya and I, about a year and a half ago, we did a series of Estes method sessions in which we were trying to reach extraterrestrials, and we were very, very successful, to the point where at the end of one of those videos, I was crying. I was absolutely terrified. But in one of them, I asked the question about Bigfoot, because there's always Bigfoot and UFO sightings in the same area. And what the answer we were given at that point was that they study Bigfoot too. Meaning that they're not just studying us, they're studying them as well. So it's not so much that Bigfoot and aliens are connected, it's that aliens are studying Bigfoot the way they study us. At least that's the answer we got that night.
I get that. There are, excuse me.
Bless you.
Numerous reports. Squatchman's had several sightings of his own where the Bigfoot and the UFO seem to appear right about the same time, as if they're connected in some way, as if the UFO is looking for the Bigfoot or the Bigfoot is looking for the UFO or whatever.
I kind of had the idea that maybe they're being abducted and they're either being picked up at that point or dropped off at that point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
could be.
So I don't know. It's
where Squatchman does his, he calls it his forest. We don't usually disclose that because he doesn't want everybody tramping through it.
Yeah, but trail cams everywhere.
Yeah, but he also has, like, in that same forest, a place he calls UFO Mountain because there's so much
UFO activity.
Many UFOs up there too.
This picture was caught by a member of Riverbend Paranormal, Indiana.
Yeah, that's the place where the young man was walking down the hill and slipped and discharged his gun and shot the guy behind him.
Trevor, could you zoom in on that?
Yeah,
I did a bit because it's shared so much.
Yeah, before I do that, I threw it into Photoshop and I turned up the contrast on it twice so we can see it more outlined if you choose to.
Sure.
So that's that.
Yeah, it gets degraded a lot, but it's right there in the middle of the picture. You can see
the head, the shoulders, the legs.
Let me do this. I turned up the contrast twice. Then we got this over here.
Yeah, Rob took a picture in the same spot when he was here and
got pretty much the exact same thing.
Yeah.
The original picture of that before it was shared through Facebook Messenger, which destroys a photo, basically. You could see the guy had a backpack on. You can see a rifle slung over his shoulder diagonally. And, I mean, he's got a little knapsack roll. He's wearing a long coat that has a belt around the middle. and it kind of flares
Yeah,
out around his
he
legs.
wasn't
I mean,
even trying, and he caught that picture. Yeah,
Yeah.
he was just. He asked us what angle that was taken, and he took one from the same angle.
Yeah.
Now that like line across it there, that's part.
yeah,
of the
there's a tree.
That's
Yeah,
a
the
tree.
the
Yeah.
dark line going down, that's a tree. But in the original photo, you can actually see a rifle across it.
I'm actually curious
That's
if
fantastic.
I know this may be a long shot, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But I'm curious if this will actually work. All right, let me. You guys are about to see it happen live, but fuck it. Window. I'm actually going to take myself off screen because I don't want to look myself look.
It's too late.
Is he?
He's, I don't know.
We don't know. This is beyond us. This is
Well,
what our
let's
text
give
is-
play by play. Trevor right now pushing some buttons and he's clicking on a thing. It's supposed to make the picture better for us to see. So,
Trevor, use a curves adjustment.
yep.
If you go to adjustments and go to curves,
Curves and then pull down about 3/4 of the way across from the right to left. Right?
go to the right. Says adjustments. It's the word adjustments.
It says it's a word. Starts right down, down, down.
Right below the colors.
Up,
See,
up.
Click
Next-
on the word adjustments.
Next to properties. Oh,
Trevor, I know you're from Kentucky, but dude, you got to be able to read. It says adjustments.
I'm from Kentucky as well, and I apologize to everyone out there.
I'm not from here originally, so I
No,
don't-
she's from West Virginia, where they know everything about cooking people. Right?
Yeah, I know where you sleep. That's one thing I know.
But I don't know. That was one of the first pictures we had not. That was the first piece of evidence that was caught at the fort.
We didn't even know for sure if the fort was haunted. I mean, we assumed it was because it was a Civil War fort, and we were trying to help the city raise some money to preserve the fort. So we moved down here and was like, let's see what we can do. And then we were like going up there every chance we got, like, God, we need to find something to be able to promote this. And the first time we had somebody up there taking photos, this is what we got.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is a fantastic capture. The only time I've ever seen pictures that good were from Gettysburg.
Yeah. And that was the first thing I thought of when I saw it. It reminded me of some that I'd seen from Gettysburg.
Yeah.
But like I say, if you could see the original with all the detail that was in the original,
It was
I mean,
crazy.
it is just a very opaque version of a Union soldier in full uniform with his knapsack rolled up around his waist, his rifle slung across his shoulder, a little pack on his back, everything. I mean,
So
it's awesome.
So I didn't know on Photoshop if a third panel comes up for options, that doesn't get shown on stream. All you guys see is the main panel. So you guys are telling me like, open that up. I'm like, it already is. But anyway,
Yeah, we didn't see any of that.
no. So I messed with the curves, and all it did was I either can make the edges more darker, but it darkens the whole image, or make it more brighter and it takes away the outline. So it was a lost
Well,
cause.
you can grab those in two different points,
Yeah,
just the curves. And
he actually knew something about it. Damn.
yeah, I do know how to use that.
We don't have high-tech stuff. He knows how to do it, but we don't
We just don't have it.
have it.
I used to.
He used to do murder porn, so he knows all about that.
Yeah. You're the boss that tells everyone what to do, but don't know how to do it. So you're the guy that goes, Jesus Christ, is Jason Bourne.
I'm like,
But
Yeah.
I don't know. Go ahead.
sorry, I know you guys. I know Bill and you two need to be out by 10. Are you on a strict schedule, or can you guys go for a couple more minutes? Or
2 more minutes. We're not like dying or anything. I don't
I
have
do
to.
got I do got to step away for a couple of minutes and go wake up Tanya so she can leave for work.
okay,
She has to
Bill,
work the night shift. So
go.
I'll be back in a few minutes.
Go
All right.
shove her off to bed. All
I
right,
don't have to get up as early in the morning, so that helps.
Right.
but yeah,
But- No, Fort Duffield is a place that, like I say, I mean, we started out doing the
Damien's asked a ton of questions over here. We need to get some of Damien's
Yeah.
questions answered here.
so all right, so here we actually have some starts. So let's start with. I don't know if you guys decorate much, but just in case, have you guys ever done any decorating or maintenance that wasn't welcomed by the spirits there, or do they allow you to do as you wish?
We don't decorate.
we haven't yet anyway. We
We
plan to next year, at least for Christmas, maybe Halloween.
maybe all of our children are out of the house, and I did the full gamut when my kids were little. Like, we were known as the Halloween house. We actually did a haunted house down our driveway. We had prefabricated walls that we threw up the night of Halloween. We ran a haunted house, took them down at the end. And now that my kids are all the way from home, I'm like, come get some of this shit.
Yeah.
And decorate
We've got
your
a
own
whole-
houses. I don't want it
You
anymore.
will not believe how much Halloween and Thanksgiving and decorations for every holiday
But we haven't
we
done
have
it here.
in storage in the shed out back.
We haven't here, especially
We
around
haven't gotten it out of the shed since
Well,
we lived here.
Halloween we're traveling, so there's really no point in putting a bunch of stuff out because we're usually here.
But one thing that as far as like the maintenance and stuff like that, they've actually helped us with some things. One of the first things when we came through here for our final walkthrough
That door right back
here at the
there.
house, yeah, that door behind me, the one that's opened live on podcasts in the past, it was screwed shut. I mean, it was
And
locked, and there
let
were
me just-
screws in the door.
let
to
me
hold it
elaborate
shut.
on that because everybody always is like, "Ooh, why was it screwed shut?" It didn't have nothing to do with paranormal. We have 3 heating and air units, and that part of the house they kind of screwed it shut to keep people from.
So they didn't have to use all
Yeah,
3
use
units
it.
because that.
I don't know
there's a
why they
unit
didn't just
that-
lock the door, other than the fact that it keeps opening all the time. Maybe that's why they screwed it shut. I don't know.
But anyway, it was screwed shut. And when we did our final walkthrough with the previous owner before we moved in, I went to go through that door, and she said, "Oh, you can't get through there. That's got screws in the door. We keep it locked and screwed shut." And I said, "Well," I looked at Denise. I said, "That's one of the first things we're going to do is open that door back up." And she said, "Yep, I agree." Well, the first day we got the key to the house, I had that door closed downstairs that we've got on video that I'm sure you've seen, Trevor. I don't know if you've seen it, Bill, but
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen that one.
it's very cool video. But we had that
I'll
happen,
send
and I
it
was
to you. We don't have to watch it on here, but I'll send it to you.
I was downstairs in the dining room where that had happened, and about 15 minutes later, I hear a loud crash above me on the floor above me. So I came up here, and the door handles were pulled apart on that door, and the screws were out of the door, and the door was standing wide open.
And
the
it
door
had been-
handles had fallen to the floor. It's what I'd heard.
It had been screwed shut for 7 years.
Yeah. And
Wow.
so they
You
opened
send it to me.
door.
I'll put it on the screen.
Okay, let me go back and find. I'm trying to find which video it is here. There it is.
Yeah.
So you want me to send it to you, Trevor?
Yeah. I'll throw it on screen.
But I mean, it's
And now I'll tell you, since you're going to put it on screen, you will hear birds chirping when you see this door downstairs close. There was a window open, but it is not in the.
it's not in that vicinity.
It's not in the vicinity that's going to cause the door to close. Because when Haunted Discoveries came, they actually
They tried to debunk that.
played around with it,
And-
and there's other doors that you can't see on here that prevents that airflow from going through there. And I guess that's the only. Yeah, he's.
Yeah, he's putting it on there.
I was just seeing if there was anything else while I was.
Well,
in
the
here.
one from the podcast, I guess, but I don't know. I don't know how long we're going to stay on.
Look, he played around with it in Photoshop look.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Very clear.
yeah, it's pretty
Yeah.
clear there. All right, now I had heard this door close because here in a second you're going to hear me say, "Can you close that door again, please?" That door had closed once before. I went over there, opened it, swung it back and forth a couple of times, and saw that it was a well-balanced door. It wasn't going to just swing closed on its own. So I went into Ghost Hunter mode.
Video. Let him watch the video.
Well, there's a reason why I filmed it in the first place.
We don't
It's not
care.
like we keep a camera on the damn door.
We don't care.
All right, here we go.
I apologize for her.
You can't hear anything. Is about volume up?
Yeah.
I haven't said anything yet.
That far.
We're saying stuff now.
I don't hear it. The volume.
Yeah, got no volume there, Trev.
I mean, as you can see, the volume bar is all the way up.
Yeah, you should have heard him asking him to close the door.
Yeah, like early on into the video. Give me a second. Right.
So the show's
At 13 seconds, he asked, "Can you close that door again, please?" And this happens.
And you'll see the door start to close, and then it stops. And I said, "All the way, please," and then it goes the rest of the way.
I don't know why the audio is not coming through on StreamYard, but I hear everything fine.
That's crazy.
That's
Holy crap.
Yeah, that's actually the same doorway where that footprint came from that she sent you.
We have cabinets open all through the house. They got to where they're opening drawers now. The drawers will actually pull out. But when Rob was here, this is the murder room. We had that traveling salesman murdered here in 1903, Silas Rodman. Rob slept here in the murder room. And
of course he did.
Speaking of that,
Rob said, "We love
speaking
it."
of that,
Is there any relation with the previous owner or worker there?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we had 28 deaths here. Like we've got all of the children are here. We've got Silas, the traveling salesman
who was murdered here. We've seen him. There were 2 women who died during childbirth here. We've seen them.
Mr. Porter downstairs.
Mr. Porter, who bought this for his niece at one point.
Tell him a Rob story. You ought to make Rob come on here and tell you. He's probably in his underwear like, don't make me come on there.
Right.
But Rob had some pretty phenomenal experiences.
Yeah, Rob stayed here on this bed.
what's up, Logan? Sorry, this is a friend from the area. What's up, man? I've never seen you in this stream. How's it going? We need to play some ball soon, but that's not the point. Anyway,
all right. Well, cool. Glad we could be, part of that reunion. That was amazing. No.
Focus, Trevor. Focus.
Yeah, Todd saw a little old lady in a red shawl in the kitchen.
Yeah, and he pooped. I'm pretty sure he pooped. They do open cabinets on command. Todd and Leanne were here one night, and actually we had a cabinet come open, and Todd went over there, being the engineer he is. He closed it and checked it and made sure it was good and closed, and said, "Can you open it again?" And then went boom. And Leanne said, "No, you didn't do it right." And she closed it and stepped back and said, "Can you open it for me?" Boom, it popped right back open. So yeah, it was cool. But
that reminds me of McClay Mansion. We did the same thing. We spent an hour getting, setting this door up and then having it close only when we asked it to, or when we were leaving the room.
Yeah. It's amazing when they're that interactive.
Yeah, because this one back here, this door opens all the time. And I don't know if you saw the video. We tried to, it opened on a live stream. We didn't even notice it till after the show was over. So we went back and did a video to explain that it has like a latch. And if the latch is not closed, it's not balanced. It won't stay closed. So somebody had to unlatch it while we were live.
All right. Spirits of the Ditto House. You have a lot of people watching right now. You think you could open that door for us?
Folks, we would really appreciate it if
It
you
would
could
be
open that
awesome
door.
if you would, or set off one of the REM pods that's through the house.
Yeah, we've got REM pods scattered around the house too that go off pretty often when we're doing the live
Constantly.
stream. But of course, they're not going to do it right now because they're stubborn people.
I know nothing about stubborn.
Just keep your eyes on that door because it could open seriously. No, when Rob stayed here, he slept in this.
Did you hit the bed? Something.
No,
Did
there's-
y'all hear that?
REM pod.
I heard the knock. I heard that knock.
I heard that.
Off too.
Yeah. So yeah, there you go. They're doing that anyway. That's pretty cool, actually.
Oh,
Rob stayed here in this bed, and he had, most of us here know Rob wears hearing aids, and he had them plugged in next to the bed. He's got a big charging block that he plugged his phone.
And the plug goes
and
in
everything
sideways because we have
the bed's right up against the wall.
We have
so-
like an extension thing on it to have more plugs because there's not a lot of plug-ins in this house.
right.
So they're plugged in from the side.
And he woke up the next morning. His hearing aids weren't charged, and he's like, "What the hell's going on?" He's noticed that the light wasn't on his charger, and he looked down, and the charger was unplugged and 4 feet across the floor from where he plugged it in. So,
we love you, Courtney.
Yep,
You're never late in our hearts.
you're a big ass kisser. You are an ass.
I love to kiss ass. Yes, correct.
Yeah. That's why his nose is brown.
He keeps trying to go there, doesn't he?
we
He,
won't go there.
wants to go there so bad.
Finish your Rob stories.
So Rob plugged everything back in, and he came downstairs to sit and talk with us for a
he
while.
told Silas because we think it's Silas.
I think that's the fourth time. I think fourth or fifth.
We're way up there.
We're-
Yeah. Okay.
He told Silas, "Bruh, I need my hearing aids. I need these to charge. Please don't unplug my hearing aids." And then he said he would have heard it if it fell out of the wall because it would
have been loud because these
Yeah.
are hardwood floors, and it would have definitely made a noise. It's a big, heavy charging block.
However, if he didn't have his hearing aids in, maybe he wouldn't have heard it.
I don't think he's that deaf. I don't think he's that deaf.
Trevor was
because-
asleep on the other side of the
Yeah.
door.
Yeah,
I was out.
Just right-
I have my own weird story about that night, but it's nowhere near as like prolific as what Rob had.
Yeah. Well, Rob's only been here one time, Damien, so we'll find out this time.
And Courtney, just to let you know, Whispers of the Ouija is Damien Smith. In case you didn't know.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So he plugged everything back in, comes downstairs talking to us, and he said, "Well, I'm gonna go up and check on my stuff and see if it's plugged in." He comes back up the steps, and you hear him, "No fucking way!" and he comes back downstairs. He said everything was plugged in, but was it his phone?
His phone charger.
His phone charger cord was unplugged and rolled up neatly and laying in the middle of the bed over there. And so yeah. they're really
Never a dull moment here, ever.
really active.
My only weird experience, and it's not crazy. It's you can honestly just pass off as it being a shadow thing or something. But I was going to bed after the event, and felt a vibe of something in the corner of the room between the bathroom and the window, and I kept looking up for a couple of minutes, asking questions, and nothing really happened. I'm like, screw it, I'm going to bed. And then I got interrupted twice in the next half hour just by whispers. So then eventually I got up and I stood within feet of where I thought it was, and then I said, "If you're here, can you touch me or whisper?" And nothing happened. So I went back to bed and nothing else happened. It just felt like a presence was just looking over me.
Determined that that's one of the most haunted rooms in the house.
Yeah,
the one that I was in or Rob was in.
Yeah,
the one you were in.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I felt something. No, I mean, yeah. That's
Christopher Lee Jansen, when he stayed here, he slept in that room, and he had one of his ear gauges come out in the middle of the night, which that can happen sometime. But he was like, "I've had that in for 3 years. It's never come out." And we were like, but we weren't necessarily chalking that up to paranormal.
Just
it was
that he had just lost
it can't. Well, 2 weeks later, it shows up laying right in the
No.
middle of the floor.
2 months later.
Was it 2 months later?
Yeah,
It
it was just like a month ago when I found it.
It was laying in the middle of the floor downstairs in like where
right in the foyer, right where you come in the front door,
yeah.
right there in front of the main.
We have crystals, one on each step coming up the stairs because the children used to, back in the day, they would sit
at the top step
and toss rocks down to see what step the rock landed on. It was like a game. Well, for a long time, and it's one of the stories because there was a book written about our house before we ever moved in, and one of the claims was that children would bring rocks in. And when we first moved in, we were finding like huge rocks, like in the middle of the stairs and everything. Not
huge, but too big to just be stuck.
They were huge.
Stuck. Yeah, that's like
that's bigger
than
than
anaconda that tried to attack you. That was as big around.
Big enough that you knew they weren't sticking to a shoe or anything. So anyway,
they're not elite sized.
It's going to be a lovely elite size.
Is the rocks in your house the size of an elite unit?
Yeah. But we
The
started
ones that big through.
we started putting crystals on the stairs because they were pretty colorful and we thought the kids would play with them, and the crystals will move. Sometimes there'll be a stair without a rock and there'll be two on the next. We had one move all the way up to the upstairs landing. We've had one disappear. And remember that, Trevor? That one we said it had disappeared. We couldn't find the crystal. Stayed here. That ironic name's Crystal. She stayed here the same weekend that Rob and Trevor were here, and she slept in the children's bed that night because we have a nursery for our ghost kids. She slept in there that night, pillows all over the place. Went back the next day, was making the bed, and that crystal showed up under the pillow.
Yeah, and we were all like in shock because she was upstairs. Everyone that was there. I think Greg was even there at that point. We were all out on the back porch, and prepping for the event stuff and just talking, and then Crystal was upstairs doing her makeup and other stuff, and she comes downstairs, opens the door, and goes, "You'll never believe what I found." And we all turn around, and me not knowing the full story, I'm like, "What's that?" But Ernie and Denise looked at her and then looked back at each other and go, "No fucking way." Yeah.
That was amazing. I mean, it really was.
And I'm over here like,
what?
It looks pretty.
Happened is probably cool, but I don't know what it was.
That's an elite unit of a rock, if you ask me. I don't know what the hell.
There's the ginormous rocks that they've left around the house.
Here, I'm gonna put you guys on.
So you can see they're
not the kind that just get stuck in the treads of your shoe or anything.
Yeah, so but we started collecting them.
But I mean, the house, I worked at Waverly Hills for years. We've investigated a lot of the most haunted places in the country.
You act like we've been all over the country.
Well, I mean, we've investigated a lot of really haunted places.
Really a lot, but not all over the country.
What is the farthest you guys have traveled, actually, other than the soiree? Other than that,
well,
we've been all the way to Maine,
okay,
Kansas.
Yeah, Kansas. I've been to Texas.
Lots of places.
Gotcha.
Places. But we've been all over this part of the country, especially. But I mean, we have been up in the Northeast. Been to Lizzie Borden, Conjuring House. Lots. I mean, we've been to a lot of places. But I have never been anywhere that was more active than this house. And I'm not saying that to advertise or try to sell anything. I'm just telling you, as someone who's been doing this for a long time, I've never been anywhere that's more active than this place.
I mean, even at Waverly Hills, there'd be nights we were there that it was just a big old empty building. You'd walk all over the place hoping to have something happen and not see a darn thing. There is something here daily. And I don't know, maybe it's because we're here a good portion of our time, but we spent a lot of nights at Waverly too. There was a month or two there.
We nights where it was crazy too.
But. Yeah, we were there almost 7 nights a week for a whole summer.
Yeah.
So.
Hell, I have a good friend. He's like a brother. he's for the past 2 years he's been hounding me to go to Waverly, and I'm like, do you want to do investigation or do you want to do a tour? And he goes, oh, I just want to do a tour. I'm like, so you don't want to investigate with equipment and all that stuff? And he goes, no, I'm too much of a crybaby to do it. And then I go, well, without spending all that money, I could just tell you the history and research and even get some friends to tell you. And they go, friends? What friends? And I go, I have friends that have previously worked there for years. And he goes, you do? I'm like, yeah. And he goes, okay, then they can. I'm like, well, yeah, but do you not want to investigate? And he goes, no.
Been called the Waverly Challenge. You'd have to walk all the way from the first floor to the 5th floor without a flashlight by yourself.
I'm down for that.
I could do that. I would love to see my friend try though, because he's like he coaches a baseball team and works at a dealership, and he like Ghost Adventures to him is like borderline like demonic possession. Like he's like, oh my god, if Zach Bagans says the wrong thing, then like he's scared and trembling in his pants. Like he's that type of guy.
We are so used to moving in the dark, like we don't hardly use flashlights anyway. We got used to not using them at Waverly, and
so we scare Rob about
and
you and people like that. It goes.
To be fair, you don't have to try to scare Rob. It just happens.
Yeah, you don't.
Yeah, that's kind of true.
It is true. He's
as soon as I saw that clip of him being jump scared at OCH, I'm like, okay, you can drop a pin and it fucking just can be drop a pin and his timbers are shivered. Like
we were at the Rock Island Roadhouse last year on that investigation that night, and they had put Denise and I on the 3rd floor to do the human pendulum experiment with guests.
There wasn't enough
room.
And
we didn't have enough room. We got the group up there. We had not been to the 3rd floor yet, so we didn't know what we were encountering. We get up there. We look everywhere on the 3rd floor for a room big enough to do a safe human pendulum, and we didn't have a big enough area. So I decided I'm going to go downstairs and see if I can get some equipment from Rob, because I knew he had a whole pack full of equipment. So I'm going to see if I can get some equipment from Rob, and we'll just do a regular investigation with equipment with the groups that we have. So I walked down to the 2nd floor where they were at with a group, and it's dark in there and quiet, and I can hear Rob's voice down at the end of the hall. And he had his group in there. They were doing an EVP session.
It's funny because I heard this upstairs.
Yeah. They were down there doing an EVP session. So I walked quietly down the hall. I didn't want to disturb their
We did,
EVP
Wade,
session.
because we just heard it. That's what we were looking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess he picked up on that too. I get to the doorway of the room where he's doing his session, and I waited for a pause, a convenient time. It got quiet, and I said, Rob. Rob seems like a girl. The whole group.
Define like a girl?
Like you would scream.
How many times have you heard me scream?
If I ever hear you scream, it'll sound like Rob. But he screams. One of the guys draws a fist back.
Everybody in there screamed. I heard it upstairs.
Yeah, the whole group freaked out, and they're like, "Don't be coming in here sneaking up on us." I'm like, "I didn't sneak up on anybody. I just walked down here, and I didn't want to bother you while you were doing an EVP session." But it was.
I wish I had a nickel for every time I did that. I'd have a lot more Ouija boards.
Yeah.
Hell, granted, me being for some reason stealthy, I don't know why. I'll literally walk up beside Rob to just ask him a question or like talk to him, and then he'll be looking down doing whatever, and then he looks up slowly and goes, "Oh shit!" and I go, "Okay," and he goes, "God damn it, bro, don't do that." I'm like, "Exist? What?"
Yeah.
What do you mean don't do that?
Yeah, no, there's been plenty of times where I'm walking alongside him for like a couple 100 yards, and then he looks and sees me and screams.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I've been next to you for a while.
Hell, there was one time at it was at MSP, This was broad daylight. We were setting up the event. It was like maybe 4 p.m. And he was going to the main lobby because I guess someone needed him there. And everything in A Hall was good to go. So I'm like, I'm gonna go see if they need help setting up all the booths. So as soon as I got out to turn to go to the main lobby, Rob was about 30 yards away. So me wanting to keep up my momentum and not feel like a lazy ass, because like with ADHD, if you shut down for 2 minutes, you shut down for hours. And so like I like lightly jog slowly to the other place. He was hearing me the whole time, ganging up on him, low key, kind of sprinting, kind of jogging, get all the way up to him, and I just go, "Hey, Rob, what's up?" And he looks at me and goes, "The fuck is your problem?" And I go, "No, you heard me.
Yeah.
I was running."
Yeah.
Shut up.
Wade says that because last night they were really active downstairs. I was going to was I going to the bathroom? What was I doing?
Yeah, you were going to go take a bath.
Yeah, I was on the way to the take a shower or bath, and I heard a man talking in the hallway, and I said, hello, can you, say that again? And he said something else.
I can't hear what you're saying. Can you say it again where I can understand?
It wasn't like he repeated it. It was like he just kept talking. Like I don't know if it was a residual, and I happened to just walk in on their conversation because it didn't sound like he was interacting. But then I went downstairs with my recorder and couldn't catch anything.
Yeah. But I don't know. It's Rob's jumpy. We've covered that.
I'm going to take these rocks back downstairs and see if I see anybody.
All right. Well, you go take the rocks back downstairs.
Take your elite rocks.
Those are Rob said there was a giant shadow man in the door. Was he like elite sized, Rob?
Hey, Rob, is your friend? You know what I'm talking about? Are your friends elite units? As I put on my evil boss hands, are your friends elite units of force?
Evil boss hands.
You know how like all like Pixar Disney bosses look like type of,
Yeah, that's not what you were doing though.
That was just some
You're
other
just interlocking your fingers in a weird way.
finger.
Just a tip, just for a second.
Yeah,
hey, that's what she said. Hey.
That's a bit of a stretch, but sure. Yeah, okay.
I think me and Bill been hanging out for way too long.
You're probably not wrong.
Hey, but it's about to be longer if you go to that one place that we have yet to disclose publicly and work out all the shit, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I got to get down there and get the details.
So a little bit more details on that, because the way I've thought about it, sometime this spring or summer, whenever it happens, I will be traveling up north, hopefully, and there will be it'll be a live stream, viewable wise, but there will be a very well produced, creepy ass investigation show thing that your eyes may be blessed to view. Anything else that I can say without giving it away, Bill?
Live investigation of one of the coolest places I've ever investigated.
Yes. And hopefully it happens, but Bill needs to get his ass over to the said place to talk about the said thing, so we can be elite units of force in said place.
Well, if you need any tips, just reach out. I'd be happy.
I would love a tip from you, Ernie. I would love a tip from you.
The tip.
Yes, a tip.
I promise.
Keep in mind, Trevor, this gets streamed to YouTube. There are rules.
I know there is an unwritten rule on YouTube. I'm sure it's written if you look deep enough in the fine print, but you could talk about it. You just can't show it.
We need to respond to Wade here. Wade, the rocks.
Have you noticed? And of the rocks,
think he meant any of the rocks
Okay.
dematerialize.
Dematerial.
Okay.
We don't. They move like they will like we will come upstairs and all the steps will have a rock on them, and then come back, and one of them will be like in another room. But the best story we have is about the flowers. Do you want to tell that story?
But I want to finish on that first.
So he meant dematerialize, not demagnetize.
Yeah. They apport around the house a lot, where they will disappear for a while and then reappear in another location. That's happened quite a bit.
Right.
Like she said, we had
Crepe
this
myrtle.
one night we went out back. There was a thunderstorm coming in across the Ohio River.
We have a crepe myrtle in the front of the house, just so you know, coming up. He leaves this part out. We have a crepe.
I was going to get to that. That's like the end of the story.
We have a crepe myrtle in the front yard as soon as you come through our gate. Continue.
Okay. Now let's go back to chapter 1. There was a thunderstorm coming in across the Ohio River, which is in our backyard, right? So we went out to the back deck to watch the storm roll in, because we're weird people that love to watch storms roll in, okay? The lightning and all that is cool.
Yeah, the river is actually our backyard.
That's what I
literally
literally said that. Those exact
I'm just
freaking
making
words.
sure they're getting a good picture.
Okay, picture a house and a river right adjacent to one another. That's ours. Okay.
Hey, Ernie, before you go any further, I do have a quick question for you.
Is the river in our backyard?
Yeah. Okay.
I'm psychic.
I just want to make sure that wasn't very clear.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
watch the storm. It comes in. Rain starts falling on it, blowing in onto us. So we came in the house. We get in the house, and the house felt very heavy and dark. I mean, not dark as in, demonic or evil, but just a heavy presence was in the house. So we decided, hey, let's get out some equipment and see if we can get some communication going. So we set out a few pieces of equipment, one of which was a REM pod that had been custom made for Squatchman. It's like an actual Bigfoot-looking REM pod statue. And we set that on the organ that she talked about.
In the living room.
The pump organ, okay, that came out of a funeral home.
Not the organ.
Not the elite organ.
Wow, this is going downhill real fast.
Yeah,
I am naming mine that too.
trying to tell a damn story, okay? So I set the REM pod on there, on this musical equipment, and we went lights out in the house, and we were standing in the parlor where we could see into the living room where the REM pod was, and where the other equipment was sitting out in the foyer and back in the dining room. We could see it all from where we were standing. And we started asking questions and got no responses. It went about 15 minutes. Nothing lit up, got no responses. And we thought, okay, well, they don't want to communicate. So let's go ahead and go turn the lights on, and I'll grab all this stuff. We'll go upstairs and go to bed. So she walked one way to go to the light switch, and I walked over toward that farthest REM pod on the organ. And as I reached for it, it went off, as it should, right? Then the light came on. When the light came on, there was a pile of crepe myrtle flowers sitting in front of that REM pod that were wet from the rain.
Wow.
And they weren't there when I put the REM pod there to begin with.
The door never opened.
The door never opened.
We were the only ones here.
We never saw anything. The REM pod hadn't gone off, which it would, it went off when I reached to grab it to turn it off. And these were sitting in right next to the damn thing where if someone would have set them there, it should have gone off, but it didn't. And we have no explanation for that. I mean, I was on the phone with a bunch of people in the paranormal community till like 2 a.m, trying to break that down and figure out how it could happen.
We made a post. We were like, we just had the most phenomenal
if
thing.
anyone up there will talk about this. And I got a message back from Brandon Alvis, Tim Comer, a bunch of people in the paranormal, and was like, dude, okay, let me tell you what just happened. And I mean, nobody got it. nobody could figure it out. And we've still got those flower petals.
They're all
today
dried
that
up, but they're
dried
in a
up in a
little
jar
jar.
sitting there. We can't get rid of them because it was just like a gift,
Yeah.
And like Trevor was saying earlier, do you think it was the Fae talking about the rocks? Maybe that was the Fae, because they will gift you things, and you gift them back, and the crystals moving, that very well could be the Fae as well. But it happens a lot around here, Wade.
Yeah, very much.
Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, I gotta sit down with Tanya and have a very real conversation about whether or not we're gonna be able to make it down there. Because after talking to you guys, I really want to come down there. I mean, I wanted to come down there to begin with, but now I really want to get down there.
A little bit of insight onto because before you want to get down? All right, sorry, cat. Yeah, before I hit you guys up for the podcast, me and Bill we're talking, and he's like, I can't wait to come down there. I hope I can make it. They seem like really cool people. But do you want to ask them if they want to be on the podcast? Because I don't know them well, and I'm afraid they might say no. I'm like,
but no, that's not what I said. I said, hey, you know them better than I do. Reach out.
I got the screenshots. I'm kidding.
Let's not start the screenshot stuff on the Get Haunted Network.
No. Yeah, you need permission to do that, and I've not given you permission.
So I need to send you everything I've already sent out then. Shit, I'm kidding.
Yeah,
I'm kidding. Which is just weird pictures of you. Like the one I posted on Facebook for your birthday.
Oh yeah, I forgot you did that.
Yeah, I screenshotted that video of you that I made at
But by the way, the weird ass selfies that you send me all the time,
yes.
Tanya's collecting them to make emojis out of them.
That's fine. I will send you more.
He has a tendency to post some weird selfies.
Yeah,
he really does. They're very like serial killerish. They are. Stuff like that. It's like, what the hell? Why would you post that?
Because my confidence is at its high.
Yep. See there?
We
that's no.
See, here's the big problem. It's not him. It's us, because we choose to be friends with him.
Yeah, well, he kind of forces
He kind of came with it was kind of like a package deal.
Yeah, we joined the Get Haunted Network. Well, Trevor's our friend now.
All right, so he's gonna stop creeping people out now.
Anyway, sorry, I was practicing my best Ernie impression. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well,
you didn't look too elite to me.
Yeah, you're a lot elite, buddy.
Do you know what I'm gonna do? Because I can. I'm gonna find that clip in the beginning of this the podcast where Ernie's like this, and I'm gonna cut that out. And then I'm gonna throw that onto a shirt, and in black lettering font, I'm gonna put elite unit,
elite package,
elite package. Yes,
pack
elite package. Yes.
Elite
package. Yeah. Like after this stream, once you guys are doing your own thing, like in the bedroom, make sure he still has clothes on. We get like a full body of a portrait.
My thing in the bedroom is gonna be tonight, Trevor. I'm gonna go take some
be drooling on her pillow. That's her thing.
Take some NyQuil.
At some point in the next, I need, as Ernie's walking in the door, all dirtied up, just be like, "Hey, do this real quick." You just get like a nice picture of him, just like holding his.
Oh, we've probably got some of those. Just look through our posts. Probably.
Trevor, did you just ask them for porn?
Yeah.
No, because I'm not paying for it. It's.
Hey,
porn, you don't have to pay for porn necessarily.
No, we don't need to go there.
Yes.
Okay, that's a.
Wait.
I'm
not participating.
He was undressing, and he undid his belt, and he said, "Oh my God, look at my shadow." Well, the belt was hanging, and the
light was directly over here, and the end of the belt
was down about
It's like
me.
we're talking like really elite. I mean, the next level above elite, whatever that is.
It was so funny. I might
I have my Bill Bell.
Picture, or I had you take a picture. Yeah,
Oh,
but
now, all right. So I just thought about this. We need to make a drop of merch. They call it a
elite package.
There needs to be a shirt of you called the Elite Package, a shirt of you and Rob called the Elite Unit, and then randomly we need to throw in Ma'am on a Scooter from
Yeah.
ISS.
Yes, ma'am on a scooter.
And then call the whole drop, the whole merch drop. We should call it the Elite Scooter, or
Maybe we need to throw in
the Ma'am on a Unit. No, I think I saw that video. I think I saw that video once.
And then just for the hell of it, somehow mix in Sarah's wahoo.
Yeah. All right, guys, be on the lookout for this. Be on the lookout for this hypothetical merch drop that may not be very hypothetical in the coming months. And then I think we need a shirt with just Rob on it that just has A and then preceded by 20 H's. Just getting scared. Just like a picture of Rob on the top.
Big hole under it.
Yeah. And then on the top it's just A-A-A-H. And then on the bottom there's just a lot of H's. It just continues.
Yes, that'll work.
Yeah.
It'd be like Trevor tried to say a house, and all they got out was a.
I love it. Dude, I can't tell you how many fucking times it's happened to Denise, it's happened to Bill, it's happened to Rob. Like all the time, like it never happens at home because like I have time to look at it, but at work all the time, I'll have the messenger chat up, hit the voice to text, carrying a package ad like as I'm going blah 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 blah. And then I'll hit send, and then I'll look at it after I'm walking back to my truck, and there's 3 words that get repeated twice, and I go, sorry, it caught my stutter.
Yeah. I tell you, I love watching your show with the closed captioning on.
Oh, yeah.
That is amazing.
Here's the thing. I can't wait to read Brian Paone's book because he wrote Trevor's stutter in there.
Yeah.
Yes, that's going to be awesome.
So a little funny tidbit from so dark point, but it ends with happiness. So from elementary school to high school, and even before then, for 17 years, I was bullied, harassed physically, mentally, and emotionally for years. That's why if you ever get to know me well, my humor is fucked up. If you make,
don't say
your conversation is fucked up.
If I make public half of the memes that I send Bill, I will be canceled. But that's not the point. Yeah. So back in middle school, there is this band that's still very popular called Skrillex. Made a song back in my middle school, 2009ish. There was a song called Cinema, and in the song, before the bass dropped and the breakdown happened, it went drop the bass, and then right. So, and the song was popular. We were playing it everywhere, and everyone was trying to sing along to the lyrics as it happened, but everyone would like get caught up on the, and everybody would go drop the, and it sounded horrible. I was the only one, because at that point I learned to fake it because of jokes. I was the only one that like everyone, you know, like in the club was like, it's going, it's building, and then I would go drop the bass, and everyone was like, "Oh my god, you're cool now." It's like, thanks.
That's awesome.
Trevor, I hate to tell you this, but no, you're not.
Oh, I know I'm not. That's why I'm here.
You nailed it. You nailed it. I get it.
Drop the bass. Anyway.
Well, I'm tired of talking to you, Trevor.
Yeah, I probably need to go take my NyQuil.
Yeah, I need to get a shower because I stink.
You do.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can smell you from here.
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
You smell like you're that. I think the elite is fading away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those some sausage on me.
He's got the Johnny Depp cologne called Sauvage, and he calls it Sausage.
Go rub that. Go rub that sausage or sausage on your body.
You're gonna go rub your own sausage. I think.
Anyway,
See,
Why
I
do we put up with you,
to
Trevor?
have her on.
Hey, y'all.
because you love me.
Rob barely knew me, and we were on our very first FaceTime call with him ever. And some jackass over at the boat dock decided to be a jackass, and he thought Ernie was going to get out of the truck. And then he got to hear West Virginia come out of my mouth.
Denise jumps out of the truck because the guy said, "You won't get out of the truck and talk to me like that." And Denise jumps up. We're on a FaceTime, like I say, with Rob. Denise jumps out of the truck, says, "I'll get out of the truck, motherfucker." God, Virginia, I don't give a fuck. I'll kill you and help them look for your body. And yeah, that was
that's where that
Rob he's scared to get rid of us off the network.
So that's why Rob's always like, I'm always like, you need me to get out of the truck, Rob, because I thought, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. Rob's going to think I'm a horrible person. I get back and he's like got popcorn and a Coke. Like, what happened?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And now she's the reason why we have to have a legal fund.
Yeah.
Y'all, I'm not even playing. There's somebody here in town that he's got to keep me from slashing tires. I've been thinking, look, and y'all got it right now. If your tires get slashed, I did it, bitch. I'm coming for you.
You know who you are.
You know who you are.
But anyway,
before
she gets us in any more legal trouble,
let's go ahead and wrap up. Do the shout outs. Do all the media stuff. Well, Ernie and Denise are going to sit back because I got to push some buttons now. But all right.
Before we sit back, catch us on Sunday nights right here on the Get Haunted Network, 9 p.m. Eastern.
You got the time right.
Because he's an elite unit.
Exactly.
Yes.
Thank you, Damien.
Pac-Man Paranormal Live.
Thank you, Wade.
So Sunday night, every Sunday night, Pac-Man Paranormal Live at 9 p.m. EST on the Get Haunted Network and on their Facebook page. Do you guys stream to your Facebook page as well, or just Get Haunted Network?
We share it.
We share it.
All right. So yeah. So they stream on Get Haunted and their page as well, and even on YouTube. They have a YouTube as well.
Yeah.
And check out all of the link trees for the shows that will be going out for each day, so you can look at everyone as well. I put 8 p.m. My bad.
We change times. Give everybody an adjustment period there.
It's 8 p.m. Central Time.
Here.
So you're right.
Pac-Man Paranormal, 9 p.m. EST on Sundays. They also have Facebook. They know how to operate that. Pac-Man Paranormal on Facebook. They also have the Hauntings at Fort Duffield on Facebook as well. And if you've heard about them and if you want to investigate the Fort Duffield or their house as well, go to extremeticketing.com. Look up the trifecta. And if you're interested in buying tickets, I'm a clicking master. If you're interested in it is on screen, right? I can't see the stream.
Yeah, it's there.
All right, cool. Here you go.
We also, Trevor, we have got one night a month that we give out at we sell at the house.
I ain't giving it away.
We've got March, May.
We've got 6 or 7 of them left.
Yeah.
So just contact us and we'll find a month that works.
$500, like he said earlier, $500 for up to 8 people. Yeah. So we still have several months left.
Yep. And other than that, is there anything else that you guys want to talk about or shout out? The Todd and Leanne, the Eskies are going to be there, and Black Wolf Paranormal. They're amazing people as well.
The Squatch Man that third guy from the left there, cool as hell in his shades. Great ghost. There's no one He's the Squatch Whisperer. There's no one
like him.
better than him.
Yeah.
And Christopher Lee Jansen is an amazing medium, and he'll be running the CE5 stuff that we do up at the fort with some singing bowls and other things. So it's going to be a great time.
Hell yeah. I can't wait. Hopefully Bill can make it. I know I'm going to be there. Hell yeah. Other than that, let's quickly run down our shit. I'm Haunted Faith. I also make found footage in the paranormal. If you like creepy, mysterious video files, I am your man. We also have Bill Bryan of Empty Casket Paranormal. He does creepy things with wires. Go buy shit. We also have Empty Casket Talking Board Museum. He teaches you how letters work on cardboard and how also in turn not to be afraid of
which we have our first big event of the year coming up February 1st at the Scranton Cultural Center. It's a big paranormal vendor fair, and we're going to have our full museum with close to 100 boards. I'm not bringing every board I have, but we'll have close to 100 boards plus spirit trumpets and tipping tables. We'll have merch for sale, and it's going to be amazing. It's going to be our biggest setup yet.
Hell yeah. He also teaches you how to not be afraid of cardboard. Because that shit, you know, can be scary if you watch the wrong film.
Yeah.
And also,
what?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, exactly. And gethaunted.com. If you're here, you know who they are, and if you don't, let me tell you, they are everything that you can imagine in the paranormal. They are a community, they are networks, they are podcasts, they are events, they are merch. Not only can you buy and take part and become one of us through all that, you can also do that all on your own through extremeticketing.com. What you're seeing on screen now, the packs here are selling their tickets to the trifecta on extremeticketing.com. You can also go to that site and sell your own stuff too. It's easy. It's very quick to set up. And if you have any questions, let someone with the Get Haunted tag know, and we'll direct you to the right person. Because I should. Yes.
It was required. We only have to sacrifice virgins and then do that. That's all we have.
And then, other than that, I'm glad we are ending now because in 10 minutes, Ghostbox Radio with Greg Bakken is going to be up next. And if you give me a quick second, Wednesday shows. Ghostbox Radio with Greg Bakken will have on Refined Divined one question readings live by a psychic medium herself. She is a regular on his show, weekly regular, so be sure to tune in for that as well. Bill, Bill, Ernie, and Denise, do you guys have anything else before we head out?
He just called you Greg.
You called him Greg.
I don't know why I did that.
Is that an upgrade or a downgrade?
It depends who you ask.
Think about it, really. Happy birthday, Bakken.
Yes, have a happy birthday, Greg. And other than that, we need to be heading off here soon. So thank you all so much for joining. Thank you, Stephen. Thank you, Damien. Thank you, Wade. Thank you, Courtney. Thank you, Robin, Sarah, and everyone else who decided to stop by. Thank you all. And I hope you all have a great night. And don't forget.
Goodbye.
He is.
Hey, don't forget to sleep safe.